So it brings me back to what am I doing at Clearidge, right? And it's real simple. The gentleman who's a major investor is a friend of mine. About 2 years ago, he asked me to get on the board of Clearidge. He also asked me if I would, take a look at some of the business as far as data center stuff. What can we do for full resiliency in data centers? 18 months ago, I, as he said, bought the Kool-Aid and started drinking it. Because I looked at the technology and I said, I'm not going to watch another opportunity. There's the cell phones or it's the social media type things happen and stand on the sidelines. And so that's why I'm at Clearidge Power. And the story of that thing is very, very important. Part of our jobs as CEOs, which most of us don't do, is strategy and listening to the people, figuring out what's going on out there. And listening to people talk. I was really impressed with some of the conversations today. I do want to live in Hawaii. I want that job next. That's a different conversation. So let's talk about what's going on there. And I'm not trying to here to knock utilities because I believe the revolution is also an evolution. And I'll talk about what we're doing at Clearidge. So we all know the story, right? It's very, very costly. They're impacted by climates, Sandy, whatever. We know that the problem is also the fact that it impacts the environment. It's a very, very old infrastructure. It's as old as the railroads, right? It's not very fast to build. It takes a lot of time and effort to build. And the truth is, buying, because of the loss of transmission, because of transmission losses, is expensive. And so what we're seeing out there is a situation what's happening in electricity where it's the next movement. It's the next mobile movement. It's the next social movement sometimes. Okay? So let's talk about Clearidge. Probably people don't know who they are. Mr. Arnold doesn't because he put his Bloom stuff up there, and I'm going to fix that. No, don't. I'm not upset about it, trust me. We're the fuel cell company of the year. Stationary fuel cell company of the year in 2013. Isn't that great? And you know what they talk about? They talk about the leadership, the market strategy, the growth, all this stuff. They do that. Now let me explain something. There's only 3 of us. You know? So we got the goal. In fact, I gave a presentation last couple weeks ago at a symposium, and the guy from Bloom got up and said, and I'm not saying this in a negative way, he says, I guess we got the bronze. And I said, I think we've accomplished something here, right? But that's where we are, right? And it's companies that people don't know about because the fact what we really did is we did a leverage buy technology, folded 2 companies together, and now we have a thing called Clearidge Power. Here's what you don't know. 1.9 billion kilowatt hours we've produced in our technology. 11.2 million hours of operation. Best technology in the industry from a standpoint of reliability. Okay? There's also what you don't know. Look at the customers. I'm not going to go through each one, but let me give you an idea. A lot of people think that you're selling this technology because the rebates and the special programs. First Bank of Omaha has our technology installed because they want security, off-the-grid power security. Okay. Very different business models happening out in fuel cells. CBS, Mike Lawson, the CEO of CBS, we have about 2.4 megawatts sitting down in Burbank. For every minute they're down in the studios, they think it's about $650,000. And so what he put those in for, his quote is very simple: energy security, off-the-grid resiliency, economics, and clean. And so what's happened in this tech world, and that's real numbers. In fact, our last 3-month rolling average is 98%. When we bought the company, one of the things we looked at is we looked at how do we treat this as, I ran a mainframe company, how do we treat this technology as mission critical? Okay? Nobody can talk about those types of those pieces, right? Our products go from 5 kilowatts to 400 kilowatts. We can put them together. Same design, same cell stack. Our cell stack is 10 years. It's very, very important. The key in this industry, if you sell the right price, build the right cost, and service the right cost. And service the right cost is just as important as any piece of this. Okay? Both systems use the same architecture. And some of the technology is pretty interesting. For example, the larger systems, we can put them together and we can run them as one single perspective. We can put the smaller systems. So we've done that, for example, at San Diego State University, we're at their dormitories, right? We've got 40 kilowatts to sell the dormitories. We put them together We have a thing called MOS, which is multi-unit load balancing with magnets at 1 single engine. Okay. We also, our technology follows energy consumption. So, for example, if our customer only has 300 kilowatts of power and needs it, and we have 400 installed, our system throttles up. What are we selling? See, I think the industry's changed a lot. We're selling security. Did you know, I don't know if you know this, but New Jersey's utilities have had in the last 12 months, have had 8 incidents of so-called intrusions. You've read about the things that just happened in the Wall Street Journal, right? What happened to PG&E, but there's a couple more that they don't know about, that are unclassified, correct? So we sell security. We sell off-the-grid power security. I saw the gentleman from Qualcomm here. I've been down to Qualcomm. Qualcomm generates 80% of their own power on campus, and they're not a customer. We're going to try to fix that. They're not a customer. You're seeing a movement. You're seeing a business issue that's happening in this industry. It's one that, in some cases, you look at it and say, I can't believe that's happening, but it is. And people say, can you make any money in this business? You can if you drive your business issues. Second piece is efficiency. We're going to reduce one customer's electric bill in the next 10 years from $100 million to $51 million. 100 to 51. Real. No kidding, right? And then the clean piece. You put in one of our systems, we take 73 cars off the road, plant another 141 acres of trees, right? And the reality is 1.2 million gallons of water. So when you start to look at that, you got to start to look at this industry is changing completely because we're solving a business issue. We're not just solving the environmental issues, that's important, or we're not just solving just the cost issue. We're solving a whole business continuing resiliency issue. Here's the evolution. Utility companies are now installing our technology. Either they're trying to look at it from a rate recovery standpoint, where they put it right in the infrastructure. They're selling it in microgrids, where we're very, very active involved. In this case here, this is a Korean operation. It's called KOSEP, it's Korean Southeastern Power. They have 14 megawatts of our power because the Korean government, as you probably have heard at some point in time, has given every utility company a mandate. They have to have so much percentage clean energy by 2022. And they get measured every year. So the evolution is that utility companies are now starting to understand what other things can I possibly use to get to where I want to go. We're working with a company out of Chicago, and I won't get into the names, but even without all the economic kickbacks, so to speak, they're saying I got to get pure power to my customers during the storms. During Sandy, we had 23 sites that never lost power. Hilton Hotel in New York and a casino. I like the casino part. But the reality is that's very, very important to those people, right? So, I missed a lot of money in that opportunity, right? I laugh about it in a lot of ways because it's a piece of life. It's not going to change my life. It's, as I said before, it's a journey. But I also think that it's very, very important to not miss again. And so where do I think this is going? Well, I personally think that some of the things we're doing around cost for the technology and where we're going from a cost standpoint, we're treating this as a technology solution. It's almost fuel cell inside our technology solution. We'll drive the cost down, especially the 5 kilowatt system, where every home will consider putting one in or building with it. We have 60 homes installed today. You put a 5 kilowatt system in, it replaces your boiler. I also think that every person in this room in the next 4 or 5 years will either have a fuel cell system or will be touched by either business has one or somebody they know has one. Because the reality of it is, at this point in time, the technology is being driven fast enough, just like the mobile phones, just like the iPads that killed the PC. Been driven fast enough with the right type of engineering, the right type of people, that I do believe we'll get a much more commodity environment done. Last but not least, let me tell you, I think all the solutions people bring here are really what has to happen. I tell it all the time. You know, I came from an industry where everybody competed, but it was a healthy industry because we all competed, and we were all healthy. And I think that over time, the more collaboration, the more things that are done, like this forums and stuff like that, I think it's only going to, the end game is going to be finally very, very, very successful. Thank you for your time, appreciate it. And now you can eat lunch.